So, Faye, good morning.
Good morning, BB.
Right, thank you so much for sitting with me today. I just want to ask you a few questions about you being on the course, the Better Boundaries course, and what that experience was like for you and what you learned. So, we're going to dive in with the very first question. Just being before you joined the program, what things were frustrating you that you were wanting some help with?
Um, okay, I think my biggest one was a fear of stepping out of my comfort zone. Um, being a people pleaser. I'm a chronic people pleaser. So that was something that has been concerning me for a while. And I just hoped that the course would help me discover why and give me tools to get over that and start making myself numero uno before anybody else. And also linked to stepping out of my comfort zone, I think a fear of failure or success. I think those two things are really closely linked. So yeah, that was my motivation for when I saw your advert. I thought maybe this can help me sort these things out.
Yeah. Good, awesome. All right. So you were thinking that this would be something that would help you. That's great. So then what was your experience early on? You'd signed up for the course, you had these frustrations, looking for support. What was it actually like being on the course in the early days?
Um, it was quite hard actually, because yes, interesting, definitely interesting, but having to look within is often hard. Nobody wants to admit their flaws or their challenges, but it really just reinforced the fact that yes, I need to do that. I need to look within and see what is causing my concerns. Um, and as we progressed through the course, I found it easier to do that. Um, just because, yeah, I think you ask the right questions at the right time. Some of it was really scary, but then when you set tasks for me to do, it all started to make sense. So at the beginning, yes, it was quite mind blowing, but getting through each week, definitely it became easier. Yeah.
Good. Okay. Great. And so then as you're going through the course, what things arose, or rather, let me put it this way, what insights did you start to have during the program?
Um, I started to connect the dots. Okay, so like you said, why did I join? Um, which I already explained. And then going through the tasks every week, things would pop up in a certain task that would directly connect to a previous task. And then it would be like a light bulb moment. Oh, is that why I feel this way? Is that why I have this fear? Is that why I have this challenge? Um, and then looking forward to getting answers, to getting tools to help overcome whatever the issues were.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, hearing you speak there, you're saying that you're creating awareness. You're starting to see that some of these patterns are arriving from some experiences from the past, various things that have happened and have created some of these fears, understandably. Okay, so beautiful. I know that this is common for a lot of people doing this work is starting to see some of these patterns where they've been in the subconscious before. So it's so interesting that you say took a little time for stuff to come up week after week. You're kind of revisiting things, looking back at something again, and then it starts to come up and go, oh, right, that's why I've always been doing this
Yeah,
or been afraid of that. Okay, lovely.
yeah.
So so some of that awareness was coming up, and we're, journeying through all the lessons and all the reflection exercises. Um, what was your kind of big takeaway by the end that you keep with you now and serves you going forward?
Okay, so once the awareness was created, um, acceptance, acceptance was a big thing for me, to accept my flaws or challenges or fears.
Mhm.
And moving forward, just the fact that I can now openly accept what they were, and because you've provided me with tools to deal with them, I can now look forward to using the tools, applying them, and hopefully making a huge difference to my future, because being able to overcome the fear, the people pleasing, etc., um, I actually look forward to a more comfortable, successful future. Because, yeah, I think now acceptance is a huge thing. And then that definitely helps in giving courage to move forward.
Yeah, well said. Exactly. And it's this paradox that until we accept ourselves, we can't change ourselves. So
Yeah,
yeah, the more we practice that, now we can actually activate courage and feel like there's possibility.
yes, yeah, there's hope.
Good, good. And how has it been impacting your life since you've been doing the course? What little changes have been happening?
Oh, I have more courage to speak my mind all the time.
Great. Maybe not so great
um,
for some people, but that's the cost. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And also to set boundaries. Um, yeah, I think I've been more able to state, this is my standard, this is what I expect. And if you don't like it, then please feel free to move on. But I'm no longer going to what's the word I'm looking for? I'm no longer going to sacrifice my ideals just because I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. If it's going to compromise my standard, then I have more courage to set that boundary and state what is expected and feel comfortable about it.
Yeah, I think that's key, is being more comfortable with upsetting some people or
Yeah,
disappointing. Sometimes upsetting we don't want to upset people as such, but when we're people pleasing, we can even be afraid of any kind of negative response to what we need.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Awesome. And I think,
So, yes.
yeah. Okay. Beautiful. And I think you mentioned as well that there was a relationship, and we don't need to go into specifics, but a relationship that had been um, somewhat problematic and a bit painful for you. But during the process of being in the course, you had experienced a little bit of a shift.
Yes, absolutely. And it's because of that courage to to state how I feel and not be afraid of hurting somebody else's feelings at my expense. Um, and just, you know what, just getting things out in the open, um, actually really helped. And I think it helped the other person to see that, yes, she does have her point of view, and we can agree to disagree, or we can agree to move forward and put everything in the past. And it's been 100% better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, well done for doing the work because you were definitely very diligent throughout the whole process. Um, yeah, and this is what I try to convey to people as well is when we can be honest, fully honest in relationships because we have the courage to be ourselves, what we do is we create safety in these relationships. And that's what helps us, strengthen bonds and have better relationships. It's being able to create that safety. But in order to create that safety, we have to feel unsafe first by taking the risk. So, and I always find life's about these paradoxes, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, I just it's lovely when you actually really see that working. It's always affirming. So
No, absolutely. And you know what? Having been, you know, that I was actually quite anxious about addressing the issues. But definitely the tools that you gave the courage. And then it's like, so what was I so afraid of anyway? You know? Um,
yeah.
so yeah, it just takes that step out of your comfort zone. Um, do as long as you know in your heart that
Mm.
what you're feeling is absolutely spot on, there's no deceit, it's totally honest, then surely you have to be understood and accepted. And
Yeah.
that's exactly what happened. And so I was like, so why was I so scared all my life to do this?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this is the frustrating thing about fear is that so much about what we fear never ever happens.
Yeah,
That's one part. And the other part is to pick up on what you say about when you speak so honestly without any part of deceit to yourself. So much when we're speaking is even if the other person can't accept it, they're just not in a place where they can meet you yet, and that's okay.
yeah,
You're lucky and fortunate that yes, she could meet you, and so that the
yes,
relationship could continue and grow.
yeah. And you know what? If there wasn't that acceptance, and if she wasn't in a place to meet me, it would have been okay as well, because I felt that comfortable with, I've expressed my views, you know how I feel. Now, if you need more time to accept it, happy days.
Mm.
Um, so, yeah, even if it hadn't, I think I would have still been comfortable with that outcome. And I would still look forward to that place of acceptance.
Yeah. Beautiful. Okay, good. So, what would you say to someone who's maybe thinking about getting this kind of support and learning the tools? If they're on the fence, what would you say to that person?
I'm going to use the Nike slogan, just do it.
Okay. Yeah, well, I wonder with
Just do
Nike
it.
how many people have been influenced by that brand. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
because do you know what? You have nothing to lose.
Mm.
Just do it and you will gain. And if there's something that you're not 100% sure of, then you can just leave it. Take what works for you and leave what doesn't. But definitely, as far as personal growth and confidence, and go for it. Just do it.
Mm. Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
You're listening out there and you take Faye's advice. Yeah, super. Okay, well, Faye, thank you so much for taking the time to sit today and to share your experience and share how doing the course has impacted your life positively. And I know we're going to be connecting soon, anyway, in person. And yeah, just really thank you so much for your time. And bye for now.
Thank you, Bibi. Really, thank you for everything.
So,
Thanks. Bye.